So thank you all so much for coming out here and joining me on a school night. I know it's rough to come out on a Tuesday. And I do want to make sure to tell everybody tonight that during my performance or any other performance, if for any reason you feel like you need to get up and go outside or take a break, that's totally okay, and none of us will be offended because we are going to talk about some kind of heavy, deep material tonight, and it can be a bit much sometimes. So if you need to take a break for a minute, it is totally understandable. I won't mind, and neither will any of my partners. And also, I want to thank all of my partners real quick for being here. Everyone here participating tonight has been an incredible inspiration to me, and I am really tickled that you all agreed to do this with me. And so definitely, if you get a chance, check out some of their artwork and all of that good stuff. I'm also super grateful to the Vogue for giving me this opportunity tonight. You guys may not know this, but not only is this my 1-year book anniversary release, it is my 3rd year anniversary as Vogue house photographer. So thank you. So I am super grateful to the Vogue for giving all of us this opportunity. And I real quick want to thank Jason King for giving me a chance 3 years ago this month when he needed somebody to shoot The Little Merman. And that was a really great show. And I want to thank Scott and Andrew and Eric for keeping me on and bringing me back after COVID. The music industry is very cutthroat and often a difficult place for a female to thrive and to feel safe, just like a lot of places in the world today. And Eric and Andrew and Scott have not only made me feel valued here, but have somehow magically created a space where I feel respected by every single employee and artist and vendor that walks through these doors. Of course, they can't always control all of the drunk people that come in here, but they have definitely gone an extra mile to make this venue great. And last, but certainly not least, a super huge bunches of thank yous to Brian and Jake and John Martin back there running the lights and video and sound. Yeah, those guys are great. Those guys put up with so much crap from me that you don't even know about. They put up with me when I'm too happy and energetic. They put up with me when I'm cranky and I hate everybody. And they let me hide next to them when I'm anxious. They cheer me up when I'm sad. So those guys not only make every show here look and sound better, but they have on many occasions made my life look and sound better. So let's give another big hand to John Martin and Brian and Jake back there. So yeah, let's see. I think I'm screwing up already. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get the rest of this going. I want to bring Mike Wiggin up here from CityLife to kind of take over for me, and he's going to host for us tonight. And I don't know, get this show going. So here's Mike.
Thanks. All right. Thank you, Melodie, for letting us all be a part of this night for you. I know this is going to be special for all of us. So thank you all for coming out and supporting her. She's going to be very real and raw with you tonight. I get the privilege of being her friend, but also her pastor. We have a church on the south side. Are you guys ready, though? We have to give it up, though, because the woman of the hour is coming to the stage. So let's hear it loud and proud for Melodie as we read this book. Let's go.
Okay. Hey, everybody, I'm back. I missed you guys. Did you miss me? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get serious now. And again, if this gets a little heavy and you guys need to take a break or go outside or step out, it is totally okay. I will not be upset. I totally understand. So here we go, hopefully. So a lot of you may or may not know I ran away from home at 16 years old. My parents were actually very prominent in the county fair community. So for a long time after I ran away, when people asked me why I did it, I would look them dead in the eye, totally serious, and tell them I did it so I didn't have to be in 4-H anymore. Looking back, I think I obviously did that because it was much easier to make a joke than to say the truth out loud. That my sister's 20-year-old boyfriend had started molesting me at 12, and I thought she hated me for it. I thought my parents hated me for existing. I thought no one wanted me there, so I left. My book begins on that cold night when I thought that I would gain my freedom by running away. So it begins with Runaway Home. That, I don't know. So that wasn't supposed to happen. Help, Brian, thank you. All right, Runaway Home. I feel so trapped. My small light floods the entire room with brightness. There are no sounds except the humming of the dryer downstairs. I get up. I know it's time for me to go. As I walk, I feel my mind lighten. I take one last look in the mirror. I look different, not myself. I pick up my things, and though they are heavy, they feel light compared to the weight on my heart. I walk down the long, dark hallway, and I don't look back. So many things are happening at once. I approach the stairs and steadily walk down with a bag in each hand. Everything is still quiet. I walk down the stairs and turn into yet another dark hallway, but this time I feel a chill. I know I may never be back. I stop to take my clothing from the warm dryer. I put them in my bag. As I approach the door, I know I can't come back once I walk out. I go through the door and the cold wind bites through my skin. I smell smoke in the air from a fire long since perished. I walk to the car and get in. I turn the key. I feel a loss, but at the same time, a great gain. Freedom. Finally, I turn on the headlights, and they pierce the dark like a sword. These are the lights I will always follow, because these are the ones that truly take me home. Just driving. Not sure where the fuck to go. Not sure what to do. You find the hard way freedom's got a price. I don't know if I'll ever find a place to call my own, just hoping for somewhere to call tonight. Everything I fucking own is riding in the back. Ain't got no time to stop and rest my head. It's getting really cold and dark way out in BFE, and if you stop in the wrong spot, you'll end up dead. Not sure where the fuck I'll sleep. Not sure where I'll live. Not sure if I want to live this way. Right now, I just got to think of what the fuck to do, though, so I can keep my ass alive today. Tri-County neighborhood. Drive town to town looking for food to calm the drugs down in our stomachs. We take what we get in this Tri-County hole, beg, borrow, or steal, and they love it. Because when we get our kicks, they get theirs too, and they act like they're all up above it. They all sling their shit at us so fucking much that we all look like we've been out mudding. But what can I say? We waller in it, writhe around in the shit on our bellies. It's easier to slither through these sleazy streets. Got a better idea, you can tell me. But I'm here to tell you, it's beat 'em or join 'em, so you better be fucking good. Because you won't walk away. Nobody leaves this fucking Tri-County neighborhood. Chestnut and 4th. Deep down in this shady motel on the corner of Chestnut and 4th. The walls move 24 hours a day, and nobody there's seen the Lord. A counterfeit tabula rasa in a town known for being just small. But the only thing further away from the truth is how far the cops are from the law. In the streets, the meth whores and their daddies slither around sniffing for tricks. And there's no fucking discrimination, no fucking such thing as just kids. The days just keep on getting longer, and the cold winter nights scurry close. And all of the residents trapped in that place are running away from their ghosts. And the smell of the aged, rotting flesh that piles up so deep in their closets brings them together and keeps them from leaving like pheromones sprayed round in a brothel. Yet somehow, there's always a room left. That vacancy sign's always on. And it calls out to lost souls all over the world that get trapped in its wide open arms. That comforting glow of the street lights that makes you feel 16 and free. Just like Stockholm Syndrome can make you feel love, the chestnut can make you love to bleed. And me, I'm not really no different, wandering in off the streets. A part of me's still right on back there and don't know if I want to leave. From that little old sleazy motel room on the corner of Chestnut and 4th, where the walls move 24 hours a day and no one can save you but the Lord. I left all my innocence back there on the corner of Chestnut and 4th. I just can't remember what my life was like before I walked right through that door. Before I stepped into that cold room on the corner of Chestnut and 4th, where the walls move 24 hours a day, but you'll never move there no more. The lions didn't sprint. 80 down a back road, way out in BFE. We're going awful fast for never gonna leave. The headlights stab the black air as we travel down the road, trying to make it to the highway for the soberness takes hold. The pigs are staking out the sides, but we're one step ahead, because we don't want to go to jail, but we don't care if we're dead. Tree skeletons engulf us as they fly by dirty windows. This old back road's full of evil, but there's always room for more ghosts. Old Smoky's gaining on us, but our luck's still holding out like the government holds water when the nation's in a drought. Just a few more hills and hairpin turns are coming up ahead, and that pig might still be gaining, but we don't care if we're dead. That road might curve before us, but our speed straightens it out, and we've lost that fucking porker for a second of his doubt. We lock it up and slide into a driveway on the right, kill the car and hunker down and watch that fucking pig fly by. We slither back on 250, fixin' to ramble on. We're pretty sure the coast is clear, but don't care if he's gone. Because we still got that mission waiting for us up ahead. We're both almost fucking sober, and we'd rather be dead. A reprieve. Time for us to take another little trip down south. We got to take a trip to get to trip. We're making damn good time, and we should get there before we're down. There's something freeing about this big, long stretch. Lucy's riding shotgun, and it's getting kind of late, but I'm pretty sure we'll get there for the morn. We done crossed the border, and we're almost to Mobile, but this time we're not stopping till the shores. The air is cool but warm enough to take the T-tops out, the Gulf fog swallowing up the road ahead. Nights like these are pretty fucking rare anymore. The nights that I forget I'm almost dead. I slide my hands just out the window trying to touch the clouds, My fingertips are surfing on the breeze. The pixies sliding in my ear have got me feeling fine. Their wave of mutilation sets me free. I could live here just like this for every second left. Bubble up this moment and be done. Pump the volume on the sound and leave the world behind until my shadows and my light are one. I could live here just like this and never a regret. Never think about the things I lost. I could live here just like this and leave the world behind. Just me and Lucy in this Gulf Shores fog. The Battle of Hayden Pike. Just got a new house and we're playing pretend. Somehow we don't know it'll end. But Merlin's been supplying our southern kin, and I told them to not let those fucking people in. It's just been 3 months, but the walls bleed our sins. It's sucking our souls like we're stuck in quicksand. But somehow this shitstorm is about to get worse. We've been teasing the devil, and he's about to quench his thirst. Broke glass rips the night like a banshee in heat. Didn't think a shotgun in my face would ever meet. Get down on the ground, cuts through me like a knife. Didn't think I would die on a night like tonight. I shut my eyes super tight till there's nothing but dark. Just praying and praying that this gunplay don't start. Just praying and praying they'll at least end it easy. Just kill me real quick, but at least save the baby. They duct tape us real tight so we won't get away. Because I'm with child, they give me some sway. But something about that tone and his voice told me real fucking quick he wasn't just being nice. The drugs and the money is what we're after. I said I got money, but they answered with laughter. Geraldine, go on and look in the freezer. We won't hurt you, little lady. We're their fucking reapers. Then just like that, as quick as it started, a few empty threats, and then they departed. And nothing was left in that aftermath of violence except the ripping of duct tape through deafening silence. It really is true. Those goblins will get you if you keep on smiting the hand that begets you. You wait and you watch and you look for the signs, but we don't really want them when we're towing the line. All we can feel is the Jones of an addict. We barely got out, but we just need some practice. Next time we'll be ready and draw our guns first. No more fucking around. They'll go home in a hearse. Just another night, AKA, hey, I hung out with you at that house on State Street. I'm the only one that's sober once again tonight. I just want a bit of quiet, not another fight. Because all this shit just gets real old every fucking day. I'd take my baby girl and leave. Because of her, I'm staying. I'm trying to whitewash all the bullshit stained onto these walls. If I don't hold my shit together, we're all gonna fall. But everywhere I go, it seems I'm just a piece of meat. Don't want to stay, but got no place to go if I could even leave. It's just another night of taking care of drunks, I guess. It's just another night that my whole life's a fucking mess. It's just another night that some dude knocks me to the floor while everybody in the room just watches and giggles for more. Teddy, you don't want to do this. Remember, I'm your friend. I know I gotta stay calm, but this fucker's got me pinned. Teddy, please don't do this, buddy. Please just let me go. Fuck, I know I gotta stay calm, but this shit is getting old. I'm begging and I'm pleading and I'm trying to talk him down, but he just says he loves me as he grinds into the ground. The laughing's getting louder and it echoes all around. Why the fuck is no one helping me? I try to block the sound. Teddy, please don't do this, buddy. Please just let me go. He's really not a bad guy. That vodka's got his soul. Teddy, please, you're scaring me. Fuck, now I'm gonna cry. Oh wait, that tear's got his attention. There's some life back in his eyes. He shakes his head and slowly blinks, and then he blinks again. Oh good, I think he's coming to. I think this bullshit's gonna end. He loosens up his grip and finally, slowly sets me free. I get up, dust myself back off, and then I start to clean. I really just don't want to stay, but don't know how to leave. I put the table back, pick up the glass, and mend a sleeve. It's just another night that my whole life's a fucking mess, but you're not supposed to walk away from family, I guess. Old Town Shuffle. Everything's real quiet as we sit in the car. We're a little down the road, but not very far. How long this will take, really nobody knows. Right now, a pin drop would make canyon echoes. Then all of a sudden, Ike jumps in the car screaming, drive, motherfucking drive, it's the motherfucking law. What the fuck, I can't go, what about Susie? They done got her ass, now we gotta move, babe. We lurch on the road, headlights slicing the dark. I point the car north, gonna slide by our mark. It's 20 and winding on 7 through Old Town. I slink through real slow, trying to see what the fuck's down. I snake round the curve, red and blue lights the sky. I'm paranoid as fuck because I'm guilty and high. Just a matter of time before those pigs come and get me because I'm that dumb bitch's #1 enemy. But wouldn't you know it, I got me some luck. I guess it's a good thing that whore likes to suck. She's been spreading those beef curtains all over town, and I guess there's a line to take that dumb bitch down. So I done got there late and didn't take a number, and I might have set fire to that skanky-ass dumpster, but even the cops thought that bitch was pathetic, and everyone round town was taking the credit. Well, what could I do besides let them all have it? I've been there and done that. Survival takes practice, and the only thing better than getting revenge is staying squeaky fucking clean in the end. Cold concrete cage. Sitting here listening to industrial crickets. Folks walking around like they're lost on a mission. But I never wanted to be stuck here this way. But here I sit, here I live, here I just stay. Factory-made melodies lull us to sleep, and anti-emotion pills hide what we keep. But what I keep doesn't need hid every day. But here I sit, here I live, here I just stay. And again I hear humming of industrial crickets, lost souls all around me just getting their fixes. Use and repeat at least twice a day to get through this shift in the least feeling way. Top-level merchandise buys out our souls, and we keep right on grinding, just trying to fill holes. Subconscious bribery does us a favor, and we just sit numbly wishing for a savior. I just keep praying for God to set me free. I can't do this again. Why won't he just kill me? I'm trying to be good, but it feels so alone. Don't make me live in this cold concrete home. It's past 20 years now, and I'm still here grinding. Don't even think no more, just obey blindly. Fuck, my life's gone now, and soon it's my soul. This industrial nightmare is swallowing me whole. Stumbling up the mountain. I find it amazing how some people can affect us in such fundamental ways in the blink of an eye. while others can be in our lives our entire existence, like that of a sturdy mountainside that blocks your view of the sun, but can never quite keep you from growing. I met a boy, one of the most beautiful boys I've ever met, and I didn't know it. Later, I found out why I couldn't see how wonderful he was. It was because I realized looking at him was like looking at a reflection of myself, and at the time, I just didn't like myself that much. By the time I realized I had fallen, it was too late, and I left him at the top of that hill while I ran away, stumbling back to that mountain for cover. It's hard to tell how long I'll be able to be here in its shadow. I'm like the Trans Am that you buy for fun, but you really just can't get up those mountain roads without that Toyota 4Runner, and that's something that I'm never going to be. So it's funny how some people can affect you so much. Some people stay in our lives for decades, but then some are so much more. Some can change the entire structure of your being in a 2-hour car ride, and nothing will ever be the same. Ode to the beginning of the end. Am I too far gone to make it? Too late to be saved? Will I ever feel what stable's like? All these places that I run just trying to escape. Detroit, the coast, New York's the same alike. This acrid doom, it follows me most everywhere I go, and I'm just looking for a friendly hand. How much further I can go is anybody's guess. I'm trying and fucking doing the best I can. I heard salvation's hiding in the eye of this here storm, but my red eyes are swallowed up by hate. This cruel-ass world has swallowed almost everything I love, and I'm about to self-disintegrate. I'm trying to go for one last savior, one last fucking dream, one last motherfucking piece of pie. And if this time this shit don't work and I just can't get out, I hope at least that I can fucking die. Photographic malady. The length of 3 songs. It's like a heartbeat in time, but it passes in slow motion. The band charges onto the stage and begins to gain speed as my eyes dart back and forth inside my eyepiece. Time crawls slowly like a train holding up traffic, but in the end it was really not even close to long enough to drink in the scene and digest. There's a whispering behind my eyes all the while as I work, creating a rhythm to my madness. It engulfs my mind and body until I succumb. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, edit, repeat. It's a kind of preternatural chanting that hangs heavy and smears through the air, painting a grin across my face. The incantation rises up to the stage with the heat of my desire and melts itself to the melodies pouring out to the crowd. I take my eyes out of the lens and set them back in the real world. I pray that I manage to capture at least one soul to later feed my addiction. I eclipse my face once again with my photographic guise and scan the crowd with an insatiable hunger that overrides my fears. The 3 songs might be over, but the night is still young, and the crowd is particularly spirited tonight. Plenty of time, plenty of room in my bottomless pit of a heart. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, addict, repeat. Shoot, addict, reap it. So, thank you. you guys. So that is it for my depressing material, and we can do some questions real quick if anybody has any questions. I'd like to welcome Mike back up to the stage to help me out with the questions and answers. Maybe he's got a question.
So,
and nothing is too personal, by the way, so. Yeah.
All right, you heard it. So this took a lot of courage to do, and she did an incredible job, got all the way through, shared her story. Can we just thank her one more time for her vulnerability? And
thank you, guys.
Yep. Yep.
Super awkward, thank you.
Yep, that's what we do. So, as you go through the chapters of the book, your life seems to get a little better, then progresses worse, and it kind of goes on this up and down journey. And the last piece, the photographic malady, it seems like maybe you found some solace. It seems like you found what you absolutely love to do, which is be a concert photographer. But your ending line, it makes it almost seem like an addiction to you as well. So can you talk through that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you asked me that, because it's something I do like to touch on. I think a lot of people make the mistake of maybe when they have problems or they're trying to get over addictions or breakups, it could be big or small things, they like bury themselves in work or bury themselves in a hobby. And that, can be good to help stuff out, but if you don't fix what's wrong, if you just hide behind other things, it's ultimately going to come back up. And I know that. So when I got to first start doing concert photography, I'd wanted to do it since I was 10 years old. I thought, God made me to do this. This is what I want to do. And so I was so happy. I'm like, yay, I got my dream. All my problems are gone. Well, guess what? I think all of you know that all of my problems were not gone. I'm totally crazy. And so when COVID hit and all of the events shut down, I got concert photography taken away from me, and that's when I realized what I had done, that I had just been trying to fill holes with work. And so I think it's kind of important to remember that, working and stuff is a safe place to hide for a while, but ultimately, you have to reach out and get help. And, everyone here that's partnered with me tonight, and some people are just coming, have been here to help me through things. And when I was really depressed over COVID, they helped me. CityLife helped me, my family, a lot of you out here, you over there, and you guys, sorry, I'm like snorting, but you all helped me. But yeah, so that's kind of what that piece is about, just me realizing that I had turned concert photography just into another addiction. And so yeah, now I'm not perfect, of course. I still have plenty of problems, but I'm definitely closer to finding a balance to where I can have happiness and then be happy with concert photography, but not hide behind it, though I do hide behind my camera.
I would say that she's not hiding tonight. Would you guys agree? Yeah, incredible. So, okay, so it's your turn for questions. I'm coming down to you. Who's got one? Come back here first.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it earlier, but how long have you been clean?
How long? What was that?
How long have you been clean?
Oh, that's a hard question to answer. So I would say that my biggest problem with drugs was actually probably Oxycontin. And at the factory, honestly, I don't know that all factories are like that, but in big factories, some environments, people just share pills and give you pills. And so I got hooked on oxys for free. You gotta be careful, it's a dangerous thing. So I left the factory in 2018, and honestly, I don't know if I've ever said this to people before, but when I left the factory, I was given farewell gifts of bottles of pills from a lot of people, and at first I was like, oh, presents, but after about a month, I was just like, what am I doing? And I threw them away in a manner that I couldn't get back. So I'd say probably about the end of 2018 is when I was really made a push to clean myself up. And, it's still a struggle. Just within the last couple of weeks, honestly, as I was trying to prepare for this event, I had people reach out to me that I hadn't heard from in forever and be like, hey, I've got some Oxys and Roxys and Hydroboxies, I don't know, do you want some? And I was like, no. So, it's been a few years and I'm still trying.
Is that the same dress that you wore to the Sunshine Day Cafe how many years ago? You look fabulous.
Thank you so much. Yes, I got this dress when I was in my 20s, and I am now 44. It's my only piece of clothing that probably still fits, but I like that you asked me that. Thank you.
All right, who's next? Up here, sorry.
The Jeopardy music was perfect. So, of course, we know that the material in your work is really heavy, and quite frankly, it felt like we were looking at an open diary. You were very vulnerable and very honest. And with all of this heavy material, I'm curious, what do you use to wind down? What does self-care look like for you?
Just quiet and a lot of praying. That's pretty much it. I just, kind of maybe shrink back into myself a little bit and just take a few minutes to kind of calm down. And, I do that. I don't know if I should say this, but weed, that's... I'm sorry to everyone at my church, my family. I don't know.
That's good. Good question.
Yes. Yeah, that's bad advice. Don't do drugs. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said.
First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for putting this together and for allowing us to witness you and celebrate you. I had never even heard of you before today, and I'm absolutely in love, and I just appreciate you so much. So my question is, first of all, it was so amazingly creative, the way that you told the story of your life in between, the way that you did the poetry for each different segment, and then the way that you had the slideshow behind you. You nailed it. This is so nice.
Thank you so much.
My question is, because I'm in the process of writing a book and sharing more about my story, what did you use in your writing process to kind of break down what stories you wanted to turn into poems? Like, how did you do your framework? Because it was awesome.
That's a great question. I actually, because I did actually start to write things about a lot of other topics. And then some of them, I would just go ahead and let myself start writing. And then if it kind of got too hard where I felt like I was forcing it, I would put it down. And then maybe look at it later. And then if something clicked later, I would go back to it. And if not, I would be like, okay, I'm going to throw this out. But honestly, I relied on friends a lot. With everything that I wrote, I had 2 or 3 different friends that I would call up and be like, hey, can I read this to you? How does this sound? Even when I put the whole book together, I reached out to a few people and I was like, hey, can you watch all these videos, read all this book, and tell me from a general public standpoint? And I looked for people that did not like poetry. I found people that did not like poetry, and I'm like, I'm going to read you this, and I want you to tell me if you want to fall asleep or if you're bored, and then kind of made my judgments that way. Like, if I read it to somebody that hated poetry, and they were like, yay, that's good, then I'm like, okay, that'll work. So, yeah.
Great question. Let's keep them coming. Who's got another one?
It's okay. Now's your chance to ask me some really slimy personal stuff. That's okay.
All right.
Hey, thank you so much for having us tonight and for putting this all together. We really appreciate you. So one of the things that comes up in my writing frequently, especially with nonfiction, even if it's creative, is the worry about accountability to other people who read your story. And so, especially with a story as raw and as personal as your story, how do you not just mitigate that through your writing, but how do you also mitigate it to the point where you can have a public event with Indianapolis artists and people who support you coming on out as well? It seems like that's a leap of faith.
Yes, it is. I mean, I did do a lot of research on, for example, this is, kind of, I don't want to say it's fiction based on real life, but, it's labeled as a poetry collection and not straight up nonfiction. But I did go out of my way to kind of change some facts and names and stuff. That way you couldn't just read the book and easily identify anyone that had been involved in the situations with me. I did reach out to a few of the people I had contact with, and I kind of said, hey, I'm going to do this project. And then all of the pictures I included, I made sure there was no identifying characteristics of either no pictures of the other people or making sure that they couldn't be identified. But I did, kind of get on Google and say Google what is legal in this situation and what isn't to make sure, it wouldn't come back later. So hopefully nobody's mad.
That's a great question. So, yes, ma'am. One more. No. I'm coming to you.
This is very beautiful, by the way. But my question is, at what point in your life or throughout your journey did you feel like, I need to let this out, that I need to let other people hear my story, and why? Like, I know why throughout it's a process of your healing, but at what point did you get to where I want to put this out there, basically?
Yeah. It was kind of definitely COVID that was the ultimate pusher. I had looked at some of these instances to maybe write about them earlier on years ago, and when I was talking about earlier when I'd start to write about stuff and it just didn't click, so I would put it aside. But I think when I was trying to do it before, I don't even think I realized how much trauma I had from the stuff that had happened. I was just like, hey, I can use this for writing material. But then when COVID happened and I was left kind of jobless and super depressed, I had actually been working on another book, and when I did the release of that book, a friend of mine had kind of given me the idea for the title, given me this title for this book, and I was going to just write like regular poems, and then I was like, no, if I'm going to use that title, it needs to be powerful. Well, then COVID happened, and I say I was depressed, but it was a little beyond that, and I was like, I'm going to look at this project again because this kind of stuff I thought be good with this title. I thought I need to, maybe try to take this material and instead of writing it in my normal style, kind of cross it with like the beatniks and my normal style, like bring in a little burros and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if I answered your question. I'm so sorry, but yeah, at that point, it was kind of COVID that pushed me over the edge, and I was just alone for months with myself. And I don't know why, but for some reason, a lot of my past stuff started coming up. And also on that, this is kind of, I don't know if this is an interesting fact or what this is, but I think part of the reason I didn't write about this stuff sooner or know how traumatized I was is because in my hometown, the area that I know Travis touched on a little bit where we're from, it is just riddled with meth and oxys and just, I don't know, the town just within a few amount of years, like all of my friends were hooked on things. And I think I didn't know how traumatized I was because everybody in the community I was living in the Tri-County neighborhood, has had these things happen to him. Everybody that I was around had been held at gunpoint or sexually assaulted, just all of these horrible things. And when I moved to Indianapolis to try to get away from it, as I made more friends in Indianapolis and made friends with people that these things didn't happen to, because it's not normal like I thought it was. I thought this is how life is. This is just how everywhere is. So at first I was like, yay, it's great because life's better up here. But then the more people I got to know and the more I tried to talk about myself, the more I was like, oh my God, these people think I'm weird. I can't tell about my past. People don't want to hear this. And so over the years of coming to shows and trying to get jobs and people being like, maybe you might not want to talk so much. Maybe you don't want to tell that story about getting held at gunpoint. And I'm like, oh, you mean that's not normal? But yeah, it all kind of hit me at once over COVID to where I realized that, life isn't like that for everybody. And that I wanted to tell my story because I got sick of making new friends and then people telling me, hey, you're not allowed to talk about this. Hey, I like you, but don't be yourself. It's too much. And so I was just kind of like, you know what? Not only am I going to be myself, I'm going to put it all together at once. And you can just listen to all of it or just walk away and don't take any of it. But I just...
There we go. There we go.
So, yeah, sorry I talked a little bit too much on that one, but...
And you never talk too much. I'm really grateful to be in the room tonight to hear you get vulnerable with us. And thank you for being so open and honest. We need more of this shit. So everybody just give her a round of applause for being a superhero real quick. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
That too. What she said. It's a real shit. Good job. My question for you, being that I'm also in the middle of writing a book and am also a single mom. My son will be 16 here in a couple weeks. I know you mentioned your daughter, and I know she's grown now. Did you have these conversations with her before this book came out? Did she know about all of your traumas ahead of time? Or did you just like, whop, hi, here's mom's story. Good luck dealing. How did you do that?
Yeah, I like that question. That's a very interesting question that I'll try to dance around. No. So yeah, my daughter is 27 years old, so she is older. And I'm going to start back a little bit just because when she was younger, I made all this art. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see. Some of my art back there is a little more risque than others. And so at some point in her teenage years, I realized that I had all this crazy art hanging around the house that maybe I shouldn't let my daughter see. I don't even know. So she kind of knew, I think at a young age, that I was a little weird. So yeah, when I, initially wrote the book, I didn't really say anything at first. I was just like, hey, I wrote this. But then when I went to publish it, at one point I did reach out to not only my daughter, but, my mom and just different other relatives. And I was like, hey, I'm putting this book out that is some really heavy subject matter, and I would prefer you not look at it. Like, don't read it, which that's probably wrong. But I said that, and then I was like, but if you do read it, don't be afraid to talk to me. You guys don't tell on me, but I think I told my mother some of it was exaggerated. That's like the biggest lie I've ever told. But yeah, I don't know if that was the right way to handle it. I did tell, some of my family, hey, I'm doing this, but ignore all of it. And then some of my family, like my sister down here, I was like, please come, I'm scared. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Great question. Do we have any more?
It's kind of a two-part question. When did you move to Indianapolis? And secondly, you mentioned, you wrote this kind of in a different style, but I've never heard any of your other poetry, and I was kind of curious about what's your other style? What is this other style you're referring to? And kind of a third question, you are a fucking actress. Like, you came with a whole vibe, like, as you performed it, and you can tell as you evolved through the different stories, different parts of your character that evolved, or even like transitions of age that you could tell you were portraying.
Thank you so much.
Based on what scene. And I just like, pursue that too. Like, you're multi-talented.
Thank you. Let's see. So if I can say all those in order. So I moved to Indianapolis in 2002 first. What was the second question?
Your style.
My style. I'm so sorry. Okay, so my normal style is just like, it's really rhyming, really versy and rhyming. And I kind of like would, have little dreams of being a songwriter. I mean, not like huge, it's not my passion like photography, but so I do write my stuff like a little like it would be song lyrics, like it could be put into a song. And then, I don't know if I'm embarrassed to say this, it is what it is, but my style was like writing a lot about if I had a crush on somebody and I wanted to get it out, I'm too scared to talk to the boys, so I'll just write about my longing or whatever. Or some of my poems are about if, not to put it out there, but if I was so depressed and I wanted to die, like I would write stuff about being just really depressed, so that way, write it down instead of doing something harmful to myself. But it all is pretty rhyming, and it's a lot of my work, my other work. There's some more books back there, and is on my website is melodieyvonne.com. And if you go to like the poetry section, the photography is predominant, but you can find a lot of my other work. But this is probably, I don't know if you'll be disappointed in my other stuff, because I like this better. And then as far as like my acting abilities, I really appreciate that, and I am going to give some credit to Devon over there, because like I watched him perform, and when I first started trying to go to open mics, the very first one I ever went to was in Bloomington, and I cried through the whole reading, and not just like a little tearing up, like I was so nervous and I was like, how am I reading? I cried. And then the second one, I found out that Devon hosted in Indianapolis, and he created an environment that was just ridiculously accepting. Like, I honestly, my work could be terrible, but everybody was so accepting and like clapping there that like you don't know if your stuff's bad or good, because like we were like, yay. But I watched Devon, and he's like a master. He doesn't just write spoken word or poetry. He performs. He strikes that nerve, and I'm like, man, I want to be like that guy when I do my stuff. So, yeah. So yeah, like that's helped me, and yeah.
Excellent questions. Anybody else have anything? Yeah.
Hey, Melody.
Hey.
So my question is, once I want to say, yeah, hearing you read the poems is different than me reading them, honestly. Like, your voice and the characters come up, and you put you really, I went there with you in those scenes. And my question is, some of these people that were with you and around you in these times, like, after writing this book and being the person you are today, are you still in contact with some of them? How has that been? Like, what's the journey? Are they seeing your stuff? Are they, what I mean? I'm just really curious about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I held on to as many people as I could. Travis, yay Travis. So Travis is incredibly humble. He didn't, he's not going to tell you how great he is, but some of the stuff, he was there with me. He lived through some of this horrible stuff just like I did. But unfortunately, a lot of our friends have passed away from ODing. Some of them are still addicted. A couple, in prison or dead. But I held on to as many people as I could. And unfortunately, when you want to stop doing drugs, you have to stop talking to everybody that does them, because as much as you want to hold on to those friends, you just can't, because they're going to give you more drugs. Like, they just are, So, yeah.
Good, thank you.
Hi, I'm Desmond.
Hi.
I don't have a question. It's just more of me saying thank you. I am
Thank you.
in one of the darkest moments in my life right now. And all of you, are extremely helpful to me right now.
Oh, thank you so much. And don't be afraid to reach out if you want to talk more,
Yeah. I'm not at a point where I'm comfortable with talking just yet.
I understand.
But hearing, everyone's experiences and just being here with all this positive energy is really uplifting. And I want to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You are very strong, and it is definitely going to be okay. There's so many people in here that helped me, and yeah, it's really powerful. Every single person that I asked to be here, whether it be people that I was like, come to my event because I want you here, or whether it was people that have partnered with me, I reached out for specific reasons, and it was largely because not just inspirations, but everybody in here has taken a part in making me better somehow, making me be able to accept myself and try to accept myself sober, which is really hard because I'd like some tequila right now.
Well, Melodie, obviously, you being honest and vulnerable, if it was for nothing else, it was worth that tonight, right? And everybody else here, so thank you so much. So let's do a last call for questions. Melodie has a video that she wants to show us. Anybody else have anything you want to ask? All right.
I don't have a question. I just want to reflect off of something you said. You said when you are on drugs and you release that from yourself, you lose a lot of people. And I just want to say that it's not just drugs. Whenever someone is releasing or moving past anywhere in their life, you're always going to look up and realize that, people around you may fall off, whatever. And it's about knowing your intention behind it and holding on to the people that really matter. You know what I mean? So it's not just drugs, it's life, it's elevation in general, So.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, folks, so much for asking these questions. Thank you very much. Melodie, the floor is yours.
Okay, yeah, so thank you guys so much. I do have a little video I want to play for you guys to kind of play us out. This is a wonderful song I recently heard by Wayne Pennington, and I really feel like it just hit me in my soul. I felt everything about it, and I felt like it fit tonight so well. So I'm going to take you out here with this video. So thank you, guys.
This world never seems to stabilize. You watch TV, read the news, know it's all mental abuse. It's no wonder you can't stabilize. seems to stabilize. You watch TV, read the news, know it's all mental abuse. It's no wonder you can't stabilize.